Dear brothers and sisters, Jesus Christ is King. Jesus Christ is Lord. I have been doing many videos recently about the importance of Christian people selecting common-sense conservatism over against liberalism and democratic lawmakers and ways of life. There are 5 reasons, and everybody knows these reasons. And I would appeal to you once again that you would choose conservative leaders everywhere, wherever you are. The first reason is these liberals, these extreme democratic people, they don't value faith, prayer, God. They don't value the Bible or the principles of the Bible. The second reason is they are advocating for various kinds of homosexualities. As we know, Canada acted against a whole town because they refused to bow down before the flag that honors homosexuals. There were Muslims in that group, there were Christians in that group who said that we won't bow down, we won't observe the Pride Week of homosexuals, because nobody is doing a Pride Week for heterosexuals. And because of their faith and because of their way of life, Jewish people, Christian people, Muslim people had a problem in accepting something that the government was imposing on them. My dear friends, homosexuality is a sin, is a detestable practice, is an evil according to the Bible. We know that God punished Sodom and Gomorrah primarily because of their sin of homosexualities. There is no genetic evidence for homosexuality, as many people have been wrongly claiming. In studies conducted in identical twins, it was found that identical twins that have same dittos, exact same identical genome may have exactly opposite or mostly have different sexual orientation. And it proves conclusively that sexual orientation has nothing to do with the genome. Identical genome, but they have different sexual orientation. It means sexual orientation itself, whether it's heterosexuality or homosexuality, sexual orientation itself has nothing to do with genetic makeup. If that is true, which it is, then homosexuality has nothing to do with genome or genetic makeup. Homosexuality is a learned behavior. Again, natural selection did not choose homosexuality as a viable way for human beings to reproduce and produce offspring. It means that there is no scientific basis for embracing, endorsing, and making other people endorse homosexual ways of life. As a Christian, I found it offensive. I still find it offensive. Even Hindu people in India, they think homosexuality is not the right way of life. Therefore, it is time for us to think conservatively use our common sense as people of God, as people who follow a certain religion. Homosexuality is sin. Homosexuality has no genetic basis. And there is no need for the government to force us to observe the Pride Weeks or to bow before or salute the homosexual flags, the rainbow flags, or whatever they call it. My dear friends, this is the most important reason, the second reason, to avoid electing democratic or liberal people again and again. Remember, first reason is they don't want anything that is related to God. They don't want faith, prayer, Bible, Jesus, or moral values. Second thing, they don't want marriages to be between male and female, and they want a lot of homosexualities to be included in various ways. And they want us, people of faith, to forcefully embrace, endorse, and even teach homosexualities. And the third thing, many of these liberal people, liberal leaders, are favoring drugs that are banned by the government or that were banned by the government because of their harmful and addictive nature. Such drugs, these leaders want to make them available to common people as recreational drugs. To some people, it seems like a good thing that people have the right to choose whatever they want to buy. But remember, these drugs were banned because they are harmful and addictive. They are harmful to the body of the person who consumes them, and they are addictive in nature. Therefore, making these drugs available in the market for a cheaper price would increase drug addiction. And we know we have so many de-addiction centers. What's the point of de-addiction centers if we favor addiction by supplying these drugs? And people, young people, students, children, they would get addicted to these substances that would destroy their mental stability, that would destroy their relationships, families, that would destroy, in the end, their physical bodies, their vital organs. And many of these people who are addicted to drugs, they have a painful death. My dear friends, do not choose such lawmakers who favor drugs, recreational drugs, banned, addictive, harmful recreational drugs to be made available easily in the market to your children. That's the third most important point. The fourth point, remember these people, they want gender confusions of gender identity. Even in Olympics we saw that males are competing in female sports. They say we feel that we are females trapped in a male body, and people just accept it. What if I say tomorrow that I feel I am a female trapped in a male body and I want to compete in female cricket sport? I'm a good cricketer. I may succeed in female cricket better than male cricket, because in male cricket there are very good players. And just because I find it easier to succeed against female counterparts, I can fake my identity and I can say I feel, justify it just by my feeling, and then I can compete. Would that be a fair competition? No. My dear friends, These gender identity confusions are dangerous to your children and to your future and to the Western culture as a whole. People do gender change surgeries, and there are many cases where they do it without their parents' consent. And when that happens, or after that happens, they don't know what to do. Afterwards, they discover that their real gender was their gender, and they did something wrong by mistake. They got carried away by these messages of liberal lawmakers, and due to peer pressure or pressure from other people, they did it, and now they cannot change. My dear friends, don't fall for this. Do not vote for liberal lawmakers again and destroy your entire generation. Today I'm praying for Canada. I will pray for each and every country in the Western world, even if they dislike me. Because I know Jesus loves them. And Jesus wants them to come out of pride, greed, lust, and pride of possessing a lot of money. They don't need God. They don't need the Bible. They don't need the moral values of the Bible. They don't need faith. They don't even need Jesus. As I said, this is the first point. They don't need anything that relates to spirituality. I pray that young people will rise up in all these Western countries. Once again, there would be a great revival among people, and people would reason correctly, and they would know the Lord personally and live a life that is faithful to the Lord and His command of love. As I always say, love and holiness cannot be separated. Without love, there is no holiness, and without holiness, there is no love possible, according to the Bible. I have spoken many times elsewhere about this fact that if you love your neighbor as yourself, you would not do murders, adulteries, you would not do thefts, robberies, you would not give a false testimony. And that is the commandment. If you love, you would lead a holy life that glorifies God. My dear friends, choose your leaders carefully and prayerfully. As I said, second thing is homosexuality, and Bible is not in favor of homosexualities. Third thing, as I said, all those gender change confusions and surgeries. And fourth thing is drugs. Stay away from all these things. And finally comes abortion, and that's a big thing in America. Many young people, they do not know the value of life. They just wander around, they drink, they do drugs, they sleep with somebody, and they do not know who is the real father of that baby. And then they seek some kind of relief from that possible baby. And what they do is they drop it. And the government favors it. If government is sponsoring their abortions, they would want to do it more and more. There are many such people. Of course, there are legitimate cases where the mother's health condition demands an abortion. That we can understand. But most of these abortions, remember Mother Teresa was against abortions. Pope Francis was also against abortions. Abortion is equal to murder. Most of the cases of abortions happen when people do not want to take up responsibility for their actions. When people want to do sexual freedom without responsibility. My dear friends, abortion is murder. Why do I say so again and again? Remember, life doesn't enter the fetus on the 8th day, 60th day, 8th month, or the 9th month. Life is there the moment the gametes fuse to form the zygote. Rudolf Virchow, we know the cell theory. He has said very clearly that life comes only from pre-existing life. We cannot create life in a laboratory. Because life comes only from a pre-existing life. And we do not have the power to give life. We should resist the temptation to take somebody else's life. We should not kill the innocent unborn. Some people think that the fetus has no personhood. It's not right. We know that the moment a zygote is formed, the gametes fuse, there is life and there is DNA. The DNA is the genetic material. DNA is genome. And it decides all the traits and even diseases that this person might get. It is sufficient to identify this person at any stage of their life, beginning from zygote to embryo to fetus, baby, and a big person or a dead person. At any stage of that person, we can identify that person using a sample of their DNA. It means that the moment they have DNA, they have personhood. Because we can identify, and DNA is the only thing that is required to identify the personhood or the person of that person. Who is that person? Therefore, my dear friends, don't fall for the liberal agenda again and again. Remember, we do not have the power to give life. Therefore, we do not have the power to take somebody else's life. Abortion is murder. Abortion is killing. A newborn, unborn baby that does not know how to respond, that has no power. It has life the moment the gametes fuse, also has personhood, as I said, and the potential to become like you and me. And if we deny them the opportunity to live, it's a big mistake. It is wrong. It is sin. So this is the 5th point. My dear friends, do not vote for liberal lawmakers again and again. Remember these 5 points. Liberals, they don't need God in reality or anything related to God.